people banish their friends, right? That's normal, right? And it's not something that people do. Well, okay then. Hey guys, welcome back. So today I thought that I would try a challenge that I've seen kind of floating around the beauty community the past year or so, and that is the dollar store makeup challenge. First of all, just a little disclaimer, I want to say that there's absolutely nothing wrong with purchasing your makeup at the dollar store if that's what you want to do, or if that's all that your budget can take. I think that that's absolutely fine. There are some amazing products at the dollar store, and I'm hoping that we find some gems today that I can share with you guys. So I guess we're just gonna get started. If you hear rustling, oh, I'm dropping everything. I went to Dollar Tree. I am gonna be using my own brushes. I didn't even think to look in the dollar store for brushes. However, I know that you can get brushes at the dollar store, so if you are wondering about that, they are readily available. So the first thing we're gonna do, I guess, I normally like to do eyes first, so we're gonna do that. I didn't, like I said, I didn't buy a face primer, nor did I buy, there's a cat eating kibble behind me, I'm sorry if you can hear that. I didn't buy a face primer, nor did I buy an eye primer, so I'm just gonna use concealer. It's the next best thing. So this concealer that I bought is by a brand called Ariposa. This is the high definition concealer in the shade 02. Pull this out. Now I bought number 2. There was a number 1 shade that was lighter than this. However, I knew that I wanted to use it under my eyes to help cancel out any darkness under my eyes and any veining on my eyelids that are kind of like a bluish greenish-y tint. And number 2 was like more pinky peachy than number 1. Number 1 was more of kind of like a beigey shade. Doe foot applicator. Just put this on my eyelid. Oh, it's actually lighter than I thought it was gonna be. Oh, it's one of those products that only dispenses a little bit at a time. Okay. Does anybody else get really annoyed with products like that? That only put out a little bit of product at once, so you have to keep like dipping back into it. Drives me bananas. So I'm just gonna blend this out with my finger. Nothing too exciting. Yeah, this is actually a lot lighter than I was thinking it was going to be. Okay. Decent. Not too bad. So far so good. Doesn't feel super oily, and it seems to be setting down. So far so good. For shadow, I got this LA Colors 12 color eyeshadow palette, and this is in the traditional color scheme. This is what it looks like. Okay, brought you in a little bit closer so we can see what's going on here. So upon first glance in the packaging, I thought this was an all matte palette. Now that I'm looking at it closer, it looks like there are some shades that are on the shimmery side, which I'm not mad about. It also has a little sponge tip. This is actually a nice one. Sometimes they look really cheap, but it's a nice kind of dual-ended sponge tip. So normally I like to set my concealer or like eye primer. There isn't really something that's like a close enough skin tone in here for me. So this is also by Ariposa, same as the concealer. Dropping everything. This is the Ariposa Matte Mineral Powder. Soft. I don't know if soft is the name of the shade. This was the only shade that they had in the store. So we're gonna work with it. We're gonna go in with the powder and see what that does. Okay, so that's what we've got going right now. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but there was a bit of kick up that happened there. I'm gonna go with a fairly neutral look. I think I'm gonna take this brown and maybe mix it with the color beside it a bit, so these two, and try to work that into my crease a little bit. I'm just gonna take the first color, the brown first, and see what we're doing. Okay, not super pigmented. Something's happening. I'll pick up more. I don't think I'm gonna mix it with that second shade anymore. I'm just going with the brown. I was thinking the brown was gonna be too dark for what I wanted, but it's not as pigmented as I was thinking, so that's okay. Certainly still workable though. I mean, it's not horrendous, you know? Just takes some extra layering. Seems to be blending out nicely though, so there's that. My cat is circling me like a shark right now. Hi, Annie. So I think the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna jump into, let me swatch some of these here. Well, let's do the copper. Ooh, okay. So I'm just gonna kind of dab that onto my lid. It's not as pretty as it was when I was swatching it. I'm dropping everything. Like, it's definitely coppery, but it's not as pigmented as it was when I was swatching with my fingers. So that tells me I then need to go in with my finger. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's better. That's a lot better. So I'm gonna go in with the applicator and I'm gonna try this shade right here. Grabbing that product, and I'm just gonna kind of try to wedge that on my kind of outer V region. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye, and then I think I'm going to go over it with another color, just so I have some more depth. Okay, so I think for the outer V, I'm now going to try this darkest shade here. Oh yeah, that's more, I think, what I want. You can see I'm getting some fallout. That's okay. I'm just, again, packing this kind of in my outer V region. And a little bit into, like, wedging it into my crease. Just a bit like that. So, these shadows, I think my final thoughts are that they are certainly workable. They're definitely not going to be as pigmented as other palettes that I've tried. However, for the amount of money I paid for it, I think that it's certainly a usable option. I'm just kind of diffusing the edge a little bit, just using the applicator, kind of making a smoky look. Today is a day of trying things that are new to me. Try new things. I'm gonna go back in with my original fluffy brush and go in with the shadow and try to just diffuse some more of the edges. Oh, that blended away a lot of product. I'm gonna go back and reintroduce that darkest shade again. I'm gonna go on the other side of my kind of dual-ended applicator, this clean side, and I'm gonna go in with this white shade, or off-white, and use that as like a brow bone and an inner corner highlight. And I think I'm just gonna go over that copper shade with my finger again, just to kind of bring that out a little bit more. So this is what we're working with so far. So now we're gonna move on to face. So for face, I got the Sassy and Chic Beauty Benefit Cream, or the BB cream. Looks like this. And this is in the shade Light 1. Nice packaging, I gotta say. So I'm just gonna shake this up a little bit here, which appears to be doing nothing from what I can hear. But we're gonna do it anyway. So it says on the back, to use, apply, and blend with fingertips. Okay. This might actually work, friends. Doesn't appear to have a ton of coverage, but again, not necessarily a bad thing. Might be like a good mix-in product for a darker foundation. I kind of want to try it with like a foundation brush. See how that goes. I'm not sure. Are we getting more coverage or less coverage with the brush? I feel like with this kind of brush, I'm getting the same amount of coverage as I was on the side with my fingers. Really minimal coverage on this, guys. Really minimal coverage. But I mean, it advertises itself as a beauty balm, like a BB cream. So that's kind of to be expected. It doesn't advertise it as like a full coverage foundation or a foundation at all, really. I think that if you are really pale, have kind of skin that's on the drier side, so you're not super oily, so you're normal to dry, and want something that has like really minimal coverage, that this could work for you. I'm just trying to see like if we can get it to its full potential here. My skin looks very shiny, like really dewy. So just kind of a close-up of the foundation of it not being set. Okay, so I mainly need concealer under my eyes is what I'm thinking. And then if it ends up being an okay match mixed in with maybe a little bit of that BB cream, I'm gonna see if I can conceal my face as well. Where did I put my concealer? So again, this is the concealer we're using. It's the same one I use as an eye primer by Ariposa, and this is in the shade, I believe it was number 2. It doesn't say on the tube. See, I feel like that's a good tone for under the eyes. It looks a little bit more yellow on camera, but it's definitely more peachy in person. Feels like a very thin consistency. Yeah, I feel like I could use this as a corrector, you can kind of see, but not as a regular concealer. I feel like I maybe put too much on. That's okay, we'll blend it out. I'm not sure how I feel about that coverage. I feel like it certainly looks better with, my under eyes look better with it on than without. However, I feel like I maybe have tried better concealers. My under eyes are really hard to cancel out. I don't hate this. I really don't. I think that it's definitely workable. Certainly that shade I think was a good choice. Do I look more alive? I feel like I do. To set this, I'm gonna go back in with my Ariposa Matte Mineral Powder. Soft. Is this the shade? Who knows? Now, I'm thinking that this is gonna deepen up what we've got. Yeah. So, this powder is definitely not completely matting out everything, even though it says it's a matte powder. I think the powder is matte, but I think what it is that the beauty balm is just so dewy and so shiny that the powder is kind of having a hard time completely matting that out. Yeah, so that definitely deepened up, which I don't love. Now, this blush, I bought it, and then as soon as it like went into the bag, it just like exploded from its packaging, so it's out of its packaging, but the packaging looks like this. This is by Billie, and it is a powder blush. It says Radiant Blusher in the shade 101 Peach. I don't know what the product looks like here. I feel like that's really not doing much. Okay, add some more. Is that doing anything? I feel like it's maybe adding a little something. I'd say that it's decently pigmented, it's just that it's so light. So I picked up another product from LA Colors. This is the loose eyeshadow, shimmering loose eyeshadow with brush, ooh, in the shade 401 Honeysuckle. That's kind of what we're working with here. The top just screws off here, and then this little bit comes out, and there's like a little brush, so it comes out like that. Okay. We're going ham. Trying it with this brush. Just to kind of put the product on, and then I'm going to blend it with my finger. Excuse me. That is not half bad. I hate this brush though. Packaging is a no-go for me. It looks very glowy, which I dig. Looks a little touch too dark in some areas, like I noticed that on my lip and kind of this outer part of my cheek. But if you blend it out really well, I think it can definitely work. So what I'm gonna do is, because I want it to lighten up a little bit, I'm gonna go back into our eyeshadow palette and I'm gonna take that white again and just lightly go over this and see what happens. Okay, see, that lightened it up a bit. I'm gonna go in with my finger, just add a little bit of the white into the inner corner of my eyes as well, just to help brighten that area a little bit more. I didn't see any brow products when I went, so I'm just gonna use the eyeshadow again, because why the heck not? I'm gonna try using this color here and see how that works. I'm just gonna try to fill this in. I think that's one of the reasons why I was drawn to doing this kind of challenge so much, was because I wanted to see for myself, but also to show you guys that you can make a lot of things work, you know, like you don't have to spend a ton of money on like really expensive products or anything to get something good or to achieve the kind of look that you want. So that's kind of what we got so far for the brows. I'm gonna add a little bit of that deepest brown shade that we used on our eyes, that one, into the tail, just a little, just to add a little bit more dimension. So I'm gonna grab some of the copper shade onto it and just kind of run it a little bit on my lower lash line here. So all I did was added, for the camera cut off my battery, I added a little bit of the copper shade underneath my eyes on the lower lash line, blended that with my finger, and then again using the applicator on just kind of the outer portion of my lower lash line, I added some more of that really deep dark brown shade. Billie Cosmetics Kohl Eye Pencil in the shade Black. It's one of those really long ones, which I always appreciate because it means there's a lot of product. Hopefully it's good product though, so we'll see. Okay, it's going on pretty easy, which makes me very happy. This is by Mariposa. This is the Ultimate Length Waterproof Mascara in just the black shade. So that's the kind of brush we're working with. It's pretty standard. Initial thoughts. I feel like I didn't really do much to my lashes. Sorry, I smudged a little bit here. Here's the other eye. I feel like took away the curl, for sure, that I had put in my eyelash curler. Really didn't add that much length in my opinion. So I've got a bunch of lip options here. The first one we're going to try on is by Ariposa, and this is the matte lipstick, and unfortunately there is no shade name. I hate it when companies do that, but this is what it looks like. Kind of peachy rosy color. So we're going to try that on. So that's what that looks like with the full look. I feel like it kind of works with the copper, but yeah, as for the actual lipstick formula, it feels comfortable for a matte lip. It dragged a little bit when I was putting it on. That's pretty common for matte lips though, and it's definitely accentuating my dry bits. It just smells like a cheap lipstick. Tastes kind of metallic. The second lip option we have is by Wet n Wild, and this is in the shade C501C, A Short Affair. That's what the bullet looks like. It's kind of like a mauvey, almost purpley pink color. Okay, so this is what we're working with this one. This one is advertised as a silk finish lipstick. Not sure what they mean by that, but it's a really pretty color. It's definitely sheer, but really pretty. So the third lip option that I'm now wearing, it's quite sticky. This is a lip gloss by Billie, and this is their liquid lip gloss in the shade, where did I put it? 814 Pink Passion. Overall, I think it's a pretty lip gloss. It's really sheer, at least this color is. Adds some nice shine and dimension to your lips, but it's very thick and very sticky. So this is the last lip option that I picked up. This is actually a matte lip stain by the company Ariposa. I'm not sure about the shade on this one. However, if I find out, I will leave it down below or write it on the screen right here. So this is what it looks like. It's very sticky. It's a beautiful color, but it's very, very, very sticky. I also feel like it's kind of patchy. Sorry. I felt like the blush was natural looking and was really user friendly because it wasn't super pigmented, so I would use it again. The powder didn't completely set any of my base products and clung to strange patches on my skin, making it look really uneven, which is why I wouldn't use this product again. The mascara took away any curl that I added to my lashes and didn't appear to add any length or volume to them either. It was, however, very black, so I would probably use it again in conjunction with false eyelashes. The eyeliner applied really smoothly and didn't seem to irritate my eyes, so I would probably use it again. The Wet n Wild lipstick was very moisturizing and had almost a slippery consistency upon application. It was very sheer coverage and was comfortable on the lips, so I would probably use it again. The eyeshadow palette seemed to fade throughout the day and blended away way too easily, and you can definitely get something better in a similar price range from Wet n Wild or e.l.f. for example. For these reasons, I wouldn't use it again. The BB cream was very pale, which was a plus for me, had very sheer coverage, but was overly dewy in its appearance and didn't seem to ever dry down. I would use this product again as a mixer in other foundations to alter the color or to add luminosity. The liquid lipstick was very sticky to the point where it was uncomfortable to wear realistically. It was a little patchy during application, but looked even once it dried down. Overall, I would use this again as a base on my lips under a cream lipstick or a gloss. The loose eyeshadow / highlighter was very sparkly, it had little bits of glitter throughout it, and was too dark for my skin tone to use alone. The packaging was abysmal, it was really hard to use, but it looked pretty layered with a lighter color and kind of blended out into the skin. Overall, I would try it again mixed with other highlighters. The concealer seemed to blend into my skin really easily, however it did crease throughout the day, even after setting it with a powder. Overall, I would try to use it again as a color correcting product opposed to an overall concealer. The Ariposa lipstick dragged across my lips during application and really clung to any dry patches that I had, which is pretty common with matte formulas. However, it tasted and smelled very strange and chemically, so for that reason alone, I wouldn't use it again. Lastly, the lip gloss was very thick in consistency and had a sticky feeling on the lips, which was annoying but not completely unmanageable. I probably wouldn't use this product again simply because I'm not a lip gloss lover. Thank you for watching. As always, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.